And at one point, he did put a ball, when he's running for his life, right on his receiver in the end zone, and it got broken up by, I wish I could recall which corner it was, but it was a nice play, but he put the ball right where it needed to be for a go-ahead score.
But he also ran around and took bad sacks and had a pick.
Of course, what do you expect? What does one expect?
That's what I expect out of a fifth-round pick. Right. He just doesn't look like a pro player.
Well, not yet.
You are not going to believe who just joined the Shedeur Sanders hate parade. Yep, Rich Eisen has officially grabbed a megaphone and jumped face first onto the bandwagon after Shedeur's debut game. And the internet is foaming at the mouth. Did Shedeur actually play that bad? Or is Rich Eisen just addicted to dramatic overreactions? Today we're diving into the wild comments, the petty sarcasm, and the moment Rich went full sport soap opera. It's ridiculous, Sand. You're gonna love it.
100% it doesn't seem right. Is it the kid, or is it how you have treated this guy? Like, I don't know where the fine line is, but there's certainly a disconnect. Like, when I see, like, this kid on the bench, this is after the game. Number one, it's not the 7th game of the World Series. You lost a game that nobody cares about, all right? And by the way, Lamar Jackson, a 2-time MVP, was looking for you. Like, go back in there, visit with Lamar or whatever, and then go back in with your teammates. Why is there such a disconnect here? Is it the kid's fault? Is it the organization's fault? I have no idea, all right? But I am going to say this. The only energy I saw in the entire stadium was when that kid...
So now Rich Eisen and the rest of the self-certified football geniuses suddenly expect rookie Shedeur Sanders to descend from the heavens, strap the entire Cleveland Browns franchise to his back, and deliver instant back-to-back wins like this team even remembers what consistency smells like. It's hilarious.
The Cleveland Browns, man, I don't know what it is, and everything that they have done. Listen, I know they wanted to try Flacco, and I know they drafted Dylan Gabriel over him, and it looks like they believe Dylan Gabriel is the better pro prospect, which is their right to do. Then why draft the kid when you did? And they've been pushing back nonstop ever since the moment in the draft when Shedeur got drafted by them. And the coach and the GM are captured on their team's draft cam looking like they were just told something happened to their dog.
If you're enjoying, please subscribe Shedeur Sanders to the channel. It helps more than you think. The Browns haven't seen momentum since flip phones, but somehow Shedeur is supposed to walk in, snap his fingers, and become a mix of Brady, Mahomes, and a little bit of LeBron just for fun. One rookie game, and everyone's acting like the universe has collapsed? The best part? Nobody ever mentions that the entire Cleveland playbook looks like it was drawn with crayons and hope.
He's better than Dylan Gabriel right now. It's clear as day.
If Shedeur Sanders had started from the start this year, they would have 3 or 4 more wins, and they would be the talk of the league.
He's a 5th-round rookie who got thrown into a game. Okay. That wasn't a game plan for him. He did some good, he did some bad. He's a rookie who has had no action, and he's a 5th rounder. What did y'all expect? The defense was lighting him up. He catch the ball, they sending everybody. So I'm not grading him, period. Let's give him a week of practice. Let's let him get a game plan.
Yep.
And let's let him actually get some reps. You can see that it's there.
Apparently, being the new guy means you're not allowed to breathe incorrectly. Every throw Shedeur makes suddenly becomes a referendum on the meaning of life. If he completes a pass, it's luck. If he misses one, he's overrated. If he ties his shoes, analysts swear he did it too slowly. The double standards are elite. Olympic-level hypocrisy.
I don't want to hear anybody say, he didn't get any reps, they don't know the snap count. That's pro football, that's the way it's got to be sometimes. This isn't a movie, this isn't Rudy, we're not going to carry it off on our shoulders, all right? You got to go out and perform. That being said, he had 3 really bad plays out of the whole game. The first one was on a naked pin where he didn't stretch the defense and he threw it right now and Kyle Hamilton almost picked it. That was a bad play, that's easily coached. The next one was on the pick. He had pressure on his face. He should have taken the immediate quick out in the flat instead of trying to push it to Jerry Jeudy. I saw what he saw. If you're coaching a quarterback, you say it's 3rd down and 10. You don't have to force it to the deeper throw all the time. Let your receivers underneath make a play, get the first down.
Some quarterbacks can throw 4 interceptions, and everyone calls it a rough week. Shedeur fumbles one time, and they're ready to revoke his birth certificate. This kid has barely had time to figure out which Gatorade flavor the locker room stocks. And somehow he's expected to carry a franchise that treats winning streaks like rare museum exhibits. And the critics don't stop there. They start crafting elaborate conspiracy theories like Shedeur personally offended them by existing. They're talking about decision-making like they expect him to read 11 defenders, 7 coaches, 6 referees, and a psychic aura before he throws. They forget that rookies are literally supposed to learn, mess up, adapt, and grow. There's no middle ground. You can't just acknowledge talent without being labeled a fanatic. And the haters live for that. They'll twist anything. If he plays well, it wasn't against a real defense. If he runs fast, it's because the defense didn't try. If he nails a pass, the receiver did all the work. They are Olympic-grade excuse builders.
Shedeur Sanders made his NFL debut against the Ravens today after Dillon Gabriel went out with a concussion, and he was awful. And that's unfortunate because a lot of people are going to try to use this game to justify why they think they were right about Shedeur Sanders in the pre-draft process. But the reality of the situation is you should take this game with a grain of salt. Because the circumstances he was put in this Ravens game, it is next to impossible for really any backup quarterback to come off the bench and thrive, let alone a rookie quarterback who has had 0 reps with the ones whatsoever. Not to mention you're coming in one of those AFC North divisional rival games that's real sloppy, real, physical, close game.
The funniest part is the way they pretend losing in Cleveland is something new. As if this franchise hasn't been inventing creative ways to break hearts for years, they're acting like Shedeur personally escorted the Browns to every losing season since time began. The kid wasn't even in the league, yet now he's the face of every disappointment. It's theatrical and absolutely exaggerated beyond belief. If Cleveland had a mediocre season, they'd call it improvement. But Shedeur arrives and suddenly anything less than perfection is a tragedy. The double standard could fuel a small nation. Meanwhile, the same people demanding his perfection also ignore the fact that he's surrounded by teammates still figuring out how to not implode every other quarter. Half the time, the offensive line acts like it's allergic to blocking. That's how ridiculous the conversation has become. And it gets even better when you realize that some of these critics weren't even watching the game. It's comedy disguised as analysis. Half the time, they don't even know what went wrong in the play. They just assume Shedeur was involved. The punter could sneeze incorrectly, and someone would find a way to blame Shedeur.
I don't blame him. What a tough spot that is, because you want as a quarterback to go up and own it, right? You need to own the podium because this is my team, but he doesn't even know if it's his team. And even him, basically, he can't go up and say, I have not thrown a pass with these guys since the summer. And you're telling me to go pull it out against the Ravens? But if he does that, then he's not taking responsibility. And he did basically say, hey, it's the first time I threw to this guy, because he wants you to know this is not optimum. And I'd love to have a shot in a week where we put stuff in for me.
Yeah.
But through all this, one thing remains consistent. People love to hate rising stars. They can't stand seeing confidence from someone new. They don't want Shedeur to succeed yet because they haven't emotionally recovered from the legends that came before him. It's like some fans treat greatness as a limited resource. If Shedeur starts shining, that means their old favorite suddenly doesn't matter and their egos can't handle it. So what do? Jump on the early slander train. It's easier to say he won't make it than to admit he might. The irony is that Shedeur is the exact type of player Cleveland desperately needs. A guy who isn't afraid of pressure. A guy who believes in his abilities even when others panic. They want him to shrink so their predictions look smart. And when he doesn't shrink, oh, the meltdown is glorious. They cherry-pick games like they're selecting grocery store fruit. They don't want the full season. They want the one performance that proves their bias. But every week, Shedeur fails to collapse under pressure. They get a little quieter, a little more annoyed, a little more desperate.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say it. This is nuts. I don't know whether Shedeur Sanders is an NFL quarterback or not. And I don't blame anybody for assuming and surmising that he may not be. But how does he get 0 snaps with the first team? How a player is able to say they were unfamiliar with his snap count? He wasn't prepped at all. You're a QB2. Your QB1 is an undersized dude, a hit away from getting concussed and taken out of the game.
What they'll never admit is that deep down they know he's going to be special. That's why they're trying to catch him early, before the world notices. It's easier to label someone a failure when they're still raw. But soon, the excuses will dry up. The narrative will shift. And those same critics will pretend they've supported him the whole time. They'll claim they always saw potential. They'll conveniently forget the dramatic speeches and the catastrophic predictions. Fans have selective memory that activates at playoff speed. And let's be honest, the pressure Shedeur faces isn't normal rookie pressure. It's exaggerated because he brings a spotlight with him. He's young, confident, media-savvy, and unbothered. That combination terrifies people. They think confidence without suffering is disrespectful. Because no matter how many complaints they manufacture, talent always wins the long game. Shedeur has the composure of someone who understands this as chess, not checkers. He doesn't get rattled. He doesn't crumble because the crowd gets loud. He plays like someone who has already heard every insult and doesn't care. And nothing irritates haters more than indifference. They'll scream their opinions into the void, and he'll keep showing up to work. Doing his thing, smiling in press conferences like he didn't hear a word.
Say anything you want about Shedeur Sanders' debut in the NFL, but let me just say, for one, the Ravens, even though they're 4-5, they're a great team nonetheless, so that's one. But then two, you expect this dude to ball out in his debut, even though he's been sat all this time? Very smart, okay. But not only that, people are really acting like he did this bad. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a terrible stat line, but let me just put it out there that there were at least 3 passes that would have been key in their game-winning drive that his receivers literally had in his chest and arm and hand and literally dropped it. Easiest routine catches you could have.
The funniest part is that when Shedeur finally clicks fully into rhythm, and he will, Cleveland fans are going to act like they believed in him from day one. They'll print shirts. They'll post throwback clips pretending they always knew. They'll talk about trusting the process like they weren't refreshing Twitter hoping he'd get benched. The bandwagon will be full of people who swore they never bought a ticket. But the receipts are there. The slander is loud. And years from now, people will look back and laugh at how dramatic the early panic was. They'll laugh at the debates, the bus statements, the unnecessary overreactions. Because once the Browns finally start winning games in auroral consecutive games, not once per presidential term, no, one will remember the chaos of year one. But none of it will matter when the development kicks in, when the chemistry starts firing. When Cleveland is suddenly being forced into primetime games they didn't beg for, Shedeur is a star, not a maybe. Not a potential. A star. And the world will catch up eventually. Some begrudgingly. Some pretending they always knew. Some hiding their old tweets. But the timeline is inevitable. The kid's ceiling is high enough to make critics dizzy. And
Did you get a chance to see Shedeur at all yesterday?
I didn't.
In the second half, I felt like they put him in a trick bag somewhat, but no reps with the first unit at all, even though he was a second string or third, whatever they want to call him. Made some solid throws, made some mistakes, had some balls that his team his guys should have caught, but I just think overall for him to be able to get out there, it's been real interesting over there. It's just like, it's almost like, you hate to say it, but I think the writing's on the wall. There's some weird energy over there with him not being able to get an opportunity to get on the field. What are your thoughts on that?
I just feel cream rise to the top. You know what I mean? And like I said, whatever they throw at him, whatever he's doing, like I said, he has a great role models ahead of him.
And until that day arrives, the funniest thing we get to do is sit back and watch the panic unfold, because the louder the slander gets, the clearer the fear becomes. They're not hating because Shedeur is bad. They're hating because deep down, they already know he's great. And nothing exposes insecurity faster than pretending not to see greatness. It's the same energy as someone insisting they don't care about their ex while checking their profile every hour. The haters are keeping tabs. They're watching every snap, every stat, every muscle twitch, like their livelihood depends on it. If they truly believed Shedeur wasn't a threat, they wouldn't be monitoring him with CIA enthusiasm. But when confidence doesn't need permission, oh, suddenly that's a problem. They want talent without attitude, leadership without charisma, greatness without self-belief. Basically, they want a star who acts like a background extra. That's not Shedeur, and that's why their brains are melting. What's wild is that every time Shedeur improves even slightly, the excuses evolve. The target moves so often, it's practically cardio. They're bending over backward to avoid giving credit. At this rate, they're one stretch away from tearing a hamstring.
But I was happy for him just getting the opportunity and running on the field because I know the fight behind the fight. Yeah, if I can say that modestly. I know what's been transpiring behind the curtains. And I'm just proud of him because he's not just saying the right things, he's doing and living the right things. That's just who he is.
And let's not ignore how hilarious Cleveland's expectations have become. The fan base that has survived decades of suffering now wants immediate fireworks because Shedeur showed up. But here's the thing, even with the chaos, the pressure, the recycled criticism, and the unreasonable expectations, Shedeur keeps showing flashes that make everyone sit up straighter and pretend they weren't doubting him. One great throw, one clutch moment, one fearless play, and all those haters go suspiciously silent for a few minutes. That silence is the sound of panic. They know those flashes won't stay flashes forever. Someday they're going to be standard. But the funniest part is that Shedeur won't need anyone to apologize because the wins will do it for him. The story won't be about the criticism. It'll be about the climb. About the rookie who walked into chaos, didn't flinch, didn't fold, didn't shrink. About the star who didn't wait to be crowned. He just kept working until the crown became unavoidable. And every one of those critics will eventually realize the same thing. They weren't watching a rookie struggle. They were witnessing a franchise turn. In real time,